What's up, everybody? How y'all doing on this lovely night? I feel like so good tonight. Like, just relaxed, revitalized type ish. Like, I feel good. 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 Yeah. I decided, I want to give y'all a little story time. I just got off the phone with my booski, Gina Boo. Shout out to her. We collabing soon. I want y'all to get ready for that good old collab right there. But let me give y'all a little story time. I feel like, it's a nice night for a story time. Quarantine been having me like reminiscing lately, like just, thinking about back then when I was young and like thinking about like past experiences basically. And like you would just be sitting back wondering like, man, I wonder how it is now. The world getting so corrupt and crazy, but certain things you just be like, dang, you sit back like, man, whether it was good or bad, but story time. So, my family, they very familiar with this story. So is a lot of my close friends. Let me see. So is a lot of my close friends now, right? So basically, I lived in a nice single family house that was inside of the cemetery. Like literally it was a whole cemetery. Two whole, no, I want to say not two whole blocks. About 3 or 4 whole blocks of cemetery. I don't know. I'm in Milwaukee, of course. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Um, if you in Milwaukee, I don't know if you're familiar with a cemetery that is on South 27th in Cleveland. There was a house right there inside of the cemetery gate. Like, it was for rent. What was crazy about it is, it was just funny that they was renting it, to, outside people. It looked like it would be a house like a caretaker would have, basically. And they were renting this house, it was on Craigslist. And I'm trying to speed this up because it's a long story. But I called the man, I got a tour of it. I loved it. Nothing about the cemetery freaked me out, to be honest. My family will still say to this day, like, girl, something is freaking wrong with you. And it is something wrong with me, but that's neither here nor there right now. That did not freak me out. Stuff that will normally freak a normal person out, that didn't freak me out. I was in love with the house. When I saw that house on the inside, it was a 3-bedroom, ranch style, basement, full basement, two bathrooms? It was one big bathroom, had a big bathroom, nice living room, 3 bedrooms. Basement you could fix up like a man cave. That's what my husband ended up doing. That was his spot. My whole thing is it was a hole in the bottom, like in the basement, in one cornered area. Looked like it would be a area where they were in bound bodies. I don't know. It looked freaky. It might, I'm sure it spooked people when they saw it. At the time, it was me, him, and our child there. My son was 3 or 4 at the time. Now, mind you, my son didn't like talk right away or anything. He didn't talk or anything. But he used to call out a name. He used to say, Sophia, Sophia. He used to he'd be calling somebody's name inside the house. And I'm like, who is he calling? He would do it all the time. On top of that, he would vomit a lot in that house. It was freaky out. I didn't know why it was happening. I'm like, why is he vomiting like this? And you know, they said don't think nothing of it, but I'm like, he didn't usually vomit like this. We had, at that point, we had been in the house for like 3 months when he started vomiting like that. But he had been calling somebody named Sofia. Now, I had read up on it later on that, you know, the cemetery, the name of the cemetery, I forget what it was, but it's a Jewish cemetery, and like supposedly Sophia is like a Jewish name. So that was like the first sign, but I didn't find that out really until later, like after a bitch wanted to run up out that house. One day I was laying on the couch. I was the only one at home. Actress had just went to school. You know, my husband, he was at work. I'm the only one in the house. Mind you, I used to stay there all the time by myself. Nothing freaked me out. Nothing touched me. I didn't feel a breeze. Something go over my shoulder, my hair, nothing. Like, one day I was asleep. I had just got my teeth pulled the day before. So I'm like catching a nap, teeth probably still throbbing. Somebody bangs on my door so loud. Hey, I know you're in there. If you don't come out. I'm like, who the fuck you know in here? Who the fuck you know in here? Like, for real. So I called the police. You know, he opened my screen like he was just banging like he could, like, tear that bitch down. So I said, who the hell he knew? I called the police. By the time the police got to the house, he was gone. What was crazy about that too, the night before that happened, police came to my gate, my back gate. Now it's a gate, it was a back gate and a front gate. We had keys to the whole entire damn surrounding of the cemetery. Meaning when we leave out at night, we have to shut the gate behind us. When we come out to leave at night, we have to open the gate to let them all back, long gates, to go out to where we had to go, and then lock it and then pull off. It was a lot to do with the surroundings to that gate thing. They would have it open in the daytime for people, but it was a certain time that you would have to lock it. So the police was at our back door. So I'm like, okay. Sometimes we did leave that little gate open because, you know, what if somebody wanted to come visit us? You know, somebody who wasn't scared. But I don't know if it was unlocked. I thought it was locked. A police knocks on our back door, and he goes to ask. We open the door. I'm like, first he say, "Is there an upper story to this house?" And I said, "No." And then he goes to ask, like, is it what? Basically, he thought it was a two family house, and I'm like, "No, this is a single family." So then he goes to ask. He said, "Does a Mary live here?" I said, "Mary? No, Mary lives here. We've been living here for about, 4 or 5 months." He like, "Oh, okay." They go on about their business. Made it seem like, you know, a little false alarm or something. And then I called my landlord, you know, I called my landlord to just ask, you know, do he know somebody named Mary? Last name was Shootings. He told me her last name was Shootings, Mary Shootings. He was like, "No, Mary has lived. Mary, I know Mary, but Mary hasn't lived there in over 2-3 years." And I said, "Why are they looking for her here now? Like, did she die here, or what happened?" Like, at that point, I was spooked. Done. Not to the point where I wanted to move out right away. I still loved my house. Listen, the house was $850 a month at the time. What was another funny thing about that was, it was so weird. I went to school with the man's son. We graduated the same year. The guy who rented the house to me, his name was Peerless. If I went to school with anybody who watching this, if you don't, I don't know if y'all remember Jason Peerless. His dad rented me that house. that